The Ethereum ETF saw a staggering $461 million in net inflows, while Bitcoin ETF saw 403 million inflows in just the past 24 hours. These are the largest inflows since July. I want you guys to focus on something very, very important. Yes, this has nothing to do with XRP, you may think, but believe it or not, this is bigger than you realize because Ethereum is gaining so much momentum right now. And dominance, on the other hand, is doing exactly what you want dominance to do. And this just makes me excited for the entire market, which of course has a positive impact on XRP. Yes, XRP does not have a spot ETF right now, but imagine when that comes in the picture. Are we going to see these types of inflows coming into XRP? But this is very, very interesting because we saw more inflows on Ethereum side compared to BTC. Wow. But with that said, welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the XRP family. Love each and every one of you guys. Thank you for your tremendous amount of support. Please hit that red subscribe button if you have not done so already. It takes it takes the channel in terms of the algorithm aspect on another level. So, your support would be greatly appreciated. And of course, helps me, know that you guys are enjoying these updates. But anyways, if you're looking across the board, once again, a tremendous day for the crypto markets. As far as XRP is concerned, remember, XRP has been having, quite a great, past few days, up 12.8%. with the price currently sitting at $3.33. So in a grand scheme of things, people might think, XRP is not holding good, but I want you guys to understand XRP is holding really, really strong right now at $3.33, up 0.5% in USD comparative, but we're down about 0.1% in BTC comparative. Valuation sitting almost at exactly where we were last night, and the 24-hour trading volume at about $6.3 billion. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So, corporate treasuries and funds have bought 371,111 Bitcoin year to date, which is a 3.75x more than miners produced over the same period. We spoke about just this yesterday as well, how the supply right now is not keeping up with the demand. The demand is sky high right now for BTC. You're seeing the record high levels in terms of inflows and interest coming in for BTC, which tells you that, of course, a lot of people want exposure to this asset class, which, of course, in terms of, the Bitcoins that are being mined, it's just not enough to keep up. And that's where the scarcity aspect kicks in this time around. People that have obtained Bitcoin, over the last, few years are honestly the ones that are actually happy at this point, because in terms of retail aspect, guys, retail just in a grand scheme of things, I'm not saying the entire retail cannot afford BTC, but in a grand scheme of things, only a very small percentage can go ahead and purchase one single Bitcoin. And this is where it has been pretty much to the point where it's no longer obtainable. It's no longer obtainable, and it's for the bigger players to come in. And yet, people would think $100,000 Bitcoin, not many people will come, but here you are. You're seeing big corporations around the globe coming in, and they're coming in very, very fast. And this is something I want you guys to understand. It's already happening with Ethereum. We're already starting to see that impact happening with XRP, even though XRP does not have a spot ETF yet. We obviously have those filings, but imagine once you do see that ETF coming in the picture, how much momentum that could bring in. And on top of that, we need to understand there's already corporations that are raising funds to actually obtain XRP on their balance sheet, which of course should give you a better understanding as to what the future potentially looks like. But look at what Bank XRP says. Ripple versus SEC is now officially over. The SEC officially announced the joint dismissal on the appeals resolving civil enforcement action against Ripple and two of its executives, which were Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. Done. it is officially over. And of course, this is bigger than you know it. But speaking about that, of course, last night we talked about how there could be a potential listing from BlackRock now, which even me personally, I think it just makes sense. But look what Nate says. BlackRock immediately calls me out, says no plans at this time to launch a spot XRP or Solana ETF. In my opinion, this will be looked back on as a mistake. We shall see. But I want you guys to pay very close attention to what they are saying. At this time, BlackRock does not have any plans to file for an XRP or Solana ETF, a BlackRock spokesperson told The Block on Friday. They're not going to come out and say, yeah, we are filing for an ETF, because we need to understand what kind of magnitude this could have. If they want to do this, they're going to do this strategically. It's not going to be happening, when people are expecting it. And look at the key words. This is what I'm taking away from this. They said at this time. It's not that they're saying we are never going to. It's at this time we don't do that. And a continuous reminder for you guys here. Take a look at that. Just a reminder, we have big names that have filed for that ETF. And I think sometime in, the near future, we're going to see these really go live based off of the timelines. I think the deadline is sometime in October. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm very confident it is around that range. So of course, SEC has to make up its decision. It just makes sense. With this lawsuit over, I think maybe now is the time for them to approve it. And if they approve it, that would be huge. But don't expect SEC to come. I'm sorry, not SEC. Don't expect BlackRock to come out and admit that, yes, you know what, guys, we are going to do it in the future. Even if they commented this, hey, you know what, we are planning to do it in the near future, but as of now, we're not yet to do so. What would that have done to the price? The price would have reacted in a positive way. And we need to understand that these key words are something we don't want to be ignoring. But take a look at what subjective view says. BlackRock isn't, obviously crazy, confirming the plans to launch an XRP ETF would send the asset's price soaring. Exactly. Perfectly explained what I'm talking about as well. But look at what X Finance Bill says. Breaking: South Korea just flipped the switch on XRP. 1.1 billion volume on Upbit in 24 hours, leading the world. The surge came right after the SEC case closed. FOMO is heating up, and this is just the beginning. Let me know in the comments what your personal thoughts are in regards to that. And remember what Swift says: we want to work with tech providers to be a super connector between on-chain and off-chain assets. Collaboration is key, and I totally agree with what Smoke is saying. But now let's take a look at what's happening with the price. Your boy Crypto ZX, what I've been discussing over the last months. You guys are every single update though. Over the last few months, we've been talking about how you want to see the dominance, pulling down, which it has been doing so. But every single update of mine, I talk about the index, the dominance index, and how important it is if you're an altcoin holder. And look at this. We broke below July lows. Amazing to see. We're retesting some of the levels we haven't seen since the beginning of the year. Drop in below 60%, which we have not done so yet, would be an insane thing in my opinion, which could trigger even more excitement within the altcoin market. BTC, on the other hand, is pushing back towards a $117,600 range. So far, we have some resistance around the level where we currently are, but amazing to see with the way BTC is holding while dominance is pulling down. And of course, altcoins being in green right now is by no means a surprise. If you're looking at XRP, it is making its way back towards the upside. Of course, like I said to you guys before, we do have some resistance around $3.35. Most important resistance is around the $3.39. If this is able to break out, I think we could start pushing up to all-time highs. And with the way dominance is pulling right now, you want to be paying very close attention to. So far, so good. Love what I'm seeing here. If you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that red subscribe button and come join the Crypto ZX army. And of course, follow me on X, link in the description box below. We'll see you later. I'm Crypto ZX, and peace out.